Hello, and welcome to another episode of Secret Santa. This episode is going to be a little bit different since the new update came in, and basically it removed all the stuff for, well, career mode. Basically, it said that I had an old save that was incompatible with what I currently have, so it sold all my stuff, and in return, it gave me about 500,000 credits to play around with. Obviously, this was a little bit annoying since I did spend a little bit of time already on the build, but hey, we all have time, right? So the thing is, the new update, I think, is I'm not super happy with it, I guess. Obviously, we cannot be unhappy, ungrateful for any updates that we get for free. But obviously, I would have liked to seen a little bit more in terms of the part that I'm interested in, which is mostly racing and getting the cars basically more in a state where they can be balanced and raced against each other. So let's say more aero parts for all cars, having working splitters on the front, maybe some cladded on the trays and such for every car, so that they are or could be at par if you were to, let's say, put them in the same weight to power category. But one can dream, and that's what we didn't get. So we got a car from 1934 or something instead, which I'm probably never going to drive, and a few quality of life additions as well, which is of course great. A few things that I tried online earlier with Shift App. He and I, we were testing a few cars for our racing series, and we found a lot of the new UI actually just completely breaks the options that you have. So yeah, that was obviously a little bit sad, but it is what it is. You always have the option to go back to the old UI, but of course having the setup differ in increments and all that is very annoying, and something that the devs should definitely look into, having a little bit more streamlined, so it would translate, let's say, old to new and new to old, so that we don't have to fiddle about with different stuff like this, which is not quality of life, it's just another headache in the game. So obviously I've stripped down the car now, and in edits I'm obviously gonna get rid of a lot of stuff, but it's always fun to see the car just get dismembered basically, and having the bare chassis just standing there. So in the first episode, obviously we built a four-wheel drive Lansdale for our gift recipient. Thank you in the comments for helping me get over my translation issues here. English not being my first language, obviously, so that makes it sometimes a little bit difficult to speak. But yeah, I got into it relatively quickly. I did a few changes to some of the body panels that I was not completely happy with in the first episode. As you can see, I don't have the third row seats anymore. I put in a diesel fuel cell instead for longer range. We also do have the traditional fuel tank in there, so we have about capacity, I think it's around 100 liters or so of diesel fuel. So we can go pretty far with this thing. We never know what's going to be used for, what the challenges are going to be, if it's going to be like a long distance challenge, if it's just off-road or whatever. I just wanted the car to be prepared for everything. You can also see that I've changed the tires a little bit, and the rims, just to add some all-terrain tires. Actually, in fact, I don't remember what tires I put on, but I think these are relatively close to what we have. So just taking it out for a test drive, you will see the addition to the West Coast map, or at least the one that has been shown in the changelog. I don't know if they have anything else in there yet, but Jesus. that's what we have. So there's a little bit of an off-road part here off to the what is that even? Northwestern part of the map of the of this little industrial area where, yeah, well, it's close to the racetrack. At least you see the back straight here from the racetrack here to our right, and it's just a little bit of a, let's say, a little bit of an off-road patch which you can race on, or do a little bit of an off-road stage or whatever. I haven't checked the scenarios if they actually added anything to it, but this is the addition at the moment. Of course, more off-road races for rallycross and all that is always welcome, but again, it's I feel like the update was a little bit disappointing. I said, lack for better words, a little bit disappointing. I was expecting a little bit more, and to be honest, having been completely ignoring what that new car, or new in quotation marks, has added to us in terms of technology for the game, I don't think there was any. So in that case, again, a little bit disappointed. But yeah, I'm sure it's a fun car to pick up and drive with. I'm not sure if it has more carrying capacity of any of the cars that we have currently. It's a bit of based off of a Ford T or something a bit later in that state. Very, very simple car. So yeah, not a lot of stuff added to the game in terms of tech or new stuff that we can play around with, apart from obviously the new car. But it is what it is. We take it, and hopefully they'll come back. There's also some changes done to the Grand Marshal, which is, let's call it, visual parts. I haven't done a deep dive into it yet, but from what I've heard from my sources, is that they're not adding any sort of aero advantages or anything for that car. So again, a little bit just slapped some extra parts in the part catalog, and that's about it. But yeah, I think after my little test drive, I had a little bit of a crash or something into the ground where it just nosedived, and I decided to add some higher rear leaf spring, and that's just to lift the rear up a little bit, give us a little bit more clearance. I found out quite quickly that I couldn't do anything extra with the front end, and yeah, that was basically it. Obviously I slapped some paint on here at the end, which you will also see, but yeah, it was just a little bit of fiddling around with colors, and that was basically it. So yeah, this episode was more of a ramble about the 0.34 patch, which in my opinion didn't add a whole lot, but it is what it is, and hopefully next year will bring us some more finally racing oriented parts, some well received updates for a few cars where the suspension is absolutely broken. The Sunburst still have some issues that I can't exactly pinpoint, where it just simply doesn't have enough power to carry its own on racetracks or on roads, basically. So if you have two cars with the same amount of power, the Sunburst will be the slower one in a straight line. It just feels like there's some parasitic drag that it does not really cope that well with. And that, of course, is a bit annoying if you're trying to make a championship where you want to balance all the cars within a weight to power bracket, basically. So again, the few cars that has been ignored for a while are still ignored, and those who've been receiving some love has basically just been, again, graphical visual additions to the car, or a few body parts that don't really add any value but just is there for looks, which is of course an update, but yeah, it's not that amazing. But anyway, I'm gonna quit yapping now, and I'm gonna just let the video run its own here at the end. And well, as always, I hope you enjoy. If you liked the video, leave a like. If you didn't, then you can dislike it. If you subscribe to the channel, I'll be very happy. It's not something you need to do. I won't be doing a lot of videos. I don't really expect to become a YouTuber at any point, but who knows? Maybe this one will go viral and end up in the algorithm and give me all the views in the world. But I seriously doubt it. Anyways, I hope you have a good one, and if I don't see you before Christmas, I wish you a happy Christmas. Take care, everyone. Thank you.